Anybody else used to think that they wouldn't be caught dead with one of these, but now that you're like an adult living on your own, these are like so important, or is it just me? Also, I'm going to the grocery to pick up a couple of things for the week, and I am definitely bringing my own bags because I probably have like, I want to say at least 50 of these, and every time I never take them and I have to buy more. And so applause for me for actually remembering to take these and picking up a couple, because God knows I don't need more. I don't know exactly where I want to go. So thankfully where I live there is a Target and also like a typical like grocery store. Well, it's not a typical grocery store because I live in like a Jewish slash I want to say like Turkish. There's a bunch of people who are like from like Turkey or Georgia or Ukraine and stuff like that. So the grocery stores are targeted to their type of diet and the things that they want. But I can still get like my basics. So I don't know if I want to go to Target and just get like grocery stuff from there, or if I want to just go to just the grocery store. I have a little bit of a walk, so I guess I will decide while walking, but it is actually a very nice afternoon. So I'm gonna just kind of tune out and I'll pick back up with you guys in a second. Is actually like so good. I would buy it, but then I just end up putting it on like literally everything. But yeah, if you've never had this before, I think you should definitely try it. Actually found everything that I think I needed at the grocery store, so I'm not going into Target because I just feel like that's a recipe for me to just like see things and be like, oh, let me get this, let me get that. So I'm gonna exercise some restraint and I'm gonna go straight home. I also have to cook dinner and like lunch for the week. I've been really into salads recently, so I picked up some like chicken cutlets. So I'll probably like make that in bulk, and then I had some turkey, ground turkey. I like making my salads with that as well. And I have to finish my lesson plans. Like I said, yesterday I was pretty much like out the whole day, and then today I kind of just chilled and had like a really slow morning and tried to like pour into myself as much as possible. So I have to go do things now to get myself ready for the week and for school tomorrow. So yeah, I am gonna walk straight past Target. I'm gonna go home, but it's like really a nice afternoon. It's cool, it's not too cold, like my jacket is open. The sun is setting, so it's like really nice. But one thing I wanted to say is that it's like so good and like a really great moment to like go to the grocery store and pick up all the things that you need without being fearful of like, do I have enough money, or like just having that luxury is like, I don't think we always like take that seriously or think about it enough. So yeah, I'm also reflecting on that and being very grateful that I can live such a life. But anyway, I'm gonna head home, unpack these stuff and get started on my night. I may or may not pick up the camera again for the rest of the night, but I'll see. So I came home, I made dinner, and I worked on my lesson plans. And it's still pretty early. I definitely want to go to bed earlier tonight. But I was just thinking, I meant to tell you guys about this conference that I went to, and I keep putting it off. And I was honestly thinking of like making it its own video, but I don't know how applicable it would be for like everyone. So I just decided I would like include some of the information in this vlog. So essentially, and I don't know, like I'm just talking, I don't have any speaking points. I'm just gonna like go off of like off the cuff. But essentially, I went to a PD, which stands for Professional Development, on Thursday of last week. And the title of it was supposed to be like I don't know the exact, I can't remember the exact name, but it was like dealing with death and grieving for people with intellectual disabilities, right? And so I signed up because a few weeks ago, one of the students in my classroom, her grandfather passed away. And so her mom was kind of like asking us like, hey, can you help us like, you know, talk to her about it. We don't really know what to like, how to explain it to her, and like what language to use, and also like how much she's really going to get from it, or also like with seeing her family members being like devastated and crying and being upset and all that good stuff. Well, not good stuff, all that bad stuff, right? So since then, of course, we like helped out, but since then I was like, okay, unfortunately with the community that I work with, some students have passed away in the past, and like of course that's just like how life goes, like your grandparents pass away, your parents pass away, so it's something that I felt like I could benefit from, like going to that workshop and learning more of like how to help them, right? With that being said, I also knew that like the information I was gonna get wouldn't be specific to my type of students, just because it was targeted to like people that are like in day programs and people that are in like basically like homes, like older people with disabilities. So I had like that caveat of like, okay, I will go in and I wouldn't like, not everything would be exactly accessible to me, but the amount, first of all, the amount of information that I got was actually so good. And I just felt, I just left with like an increased desire to like do more for my students, if that makes sense. So let me give you like a quick rundown of like some of the things that we talked about. So one of the first things that we kind of addressed was the fact that people with disabilities, and specifically like intellectual disabilities, don't always have the chance or like the rights to understand like what exactly is going on. So for example, like with a child that's like developing normally, if someone is like dying or has died, we just explain it to them normally because we assume that like they just understand like that's how life works, and they do. And for some reason, like with people with intellectual disabilities, it's kind of like they're not told in the same way, or they're not given the opportunity, like they're not told, period. And that's really tricky because for the people that are like older and that are in these like day programs and these homes, they usually have like a close-knit community. Some of them have like roommates and stuff that they see all the time. So for like their roommate, let's say, to like pass away and them to not be told, or for it to be, or like they know in their brain, obviously like some of them can't speak it and be like, oh, like what happened, they know it and can feel it. So for them to like not be told about it, like period, is just like kind of like taking away their rights, sort of thing. So we were talking about that. We were also talking about like us as adults that work with these types of people and students. It's important for us to kind of figure out what we think about death. And like it was a very small group, but there's this one lady that was there that was very vulnerable and very like transparent, and she was like, I work in these day programs with these older people, and like they, you know, life happens and they pass away, and I kind of like shy away from that. She was like, when people die, I don't go to funerals, and I just don't deal with death. And it's just like, you have to, right? And like, because that's her own personal belief, now when she's going to address like the people that we work with, her belief can be passed on to like others, right? Of like, it's not something to deal with, like, let's just brush it under the rug, let's just move on, that kind of thing. So that was really important to talk about. And then we also talked about like a living will, or like something called like 5 wishes, where it's basically like making a plan of how you want like your end of life to be. And for most of these people that have like intellectual disabilities, choices are made for them for their whole lives, right? Like it's different for me because our school, that the school that I work at, is very, 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 very amazing at this. Like, we try to first of all get the kids input in any way, shape, or form that we can. It could be a smile, it could be a head nod, it could be a look away, it could be, you know, using different technologies. My students specifically are very good at like communicating what they want, so I always feel like I'm super lucky. But for the vast majority of people who didn't get a chance to go to a school, didn't get a chance to learn any type of like communication techniques, anything, people are just making decisions for them from the time they are born to the time that they pass away. And it's just like so sad. Like, imagine internally in your brain, let's just say someone's nonverbal, so they can't speak and they don't have some type of like communication device. Internally, you know that you like absolutely hate the scent of vanilla, and every day your mother or father or caretaker burns a vanilla candle in your room. It's just like things like that is just like so upsetting to think about, and that's someone's entire life. So they were talking about like how while our students are still around, and it might seem like that's kind of dismal to talk about so early on, like you need to have conversations with them about things that they want, things that they like, expose them to different things. And so yeah, I thought that was very, very, very profound. And then we were also talking about, let me see if I can remember. I also talked about the Ministry of Presence, which, so this, like I said, this workshop covered like a multitude of things. We were there from like 9 to 5 p.m. So it was a full day. We talked about the Ministry of Presence and how for most of the people that we work with, not necessarily the students, but like the older community, when they are experiencing grief, when they've lost someone, they've lost their roommate, they've lost a housemate, they've lost like a person that would take care of them. Sometimes we're just like putting our values and our thoughts onto them, or like sometimes we'll like throw like God glitter on it of like, yeah, like let's just move on, like it's okay, whatever. And sometimes like it's best to just be there and say nothing, which is not just like for people with intellectual disabilities, but just like a life, a concept in life that most people need to like kind of do a little bit more of, myself included. We talked about, we had like a whole session where we went through a whole, like all of the, like a few of the different religions, and kind of talked about what religion we identify with, and then all the different types of religions, because working with people with disabilities, again, our religion is just kind of like placed onto them. So like if you come from a Jewish home, or you come from a Catholic home or a Christian home, and you have a child with disabilities, it's just like assumed that the child would like be the same religion, which is fine, but like in normal life that's not necessarily how it goes, because there's many stories of children growing up in one religion, and then once they become of age or like adults, then they, you know, find a different religion and that kind of stuff. So we were talking about that, and then we were kind of talking about like how we can include spirituality, or differently, spirituality for people with intellectual disabilities. And it's just like how like spirituality is something important for most people, and it helps them get through their day. It's like a way to cope with like challenging things. It's just a really big part of life, and for most of them, they either like when their family goes to church or when their family's like doing things, they sometimes just get like left home, or you know, just like more stuff like that, just like giving them a voice. I won't go into like all the things that we talked about. Let me just flip through because they gave us like this thick printout. It was like 180 slides, y'all. I'm not even joking. Of just like such good things. But I think I have like two really important points that like stood out to me that I want to like remind myself of, and I also want to tell you all about. So the second to last thing was about like language and the like grieving process. So like I said, my school is like a gem. We have so many different like communication devices or ways that we try to like allow the students' voice to be heard, even if they don't physically use their voice. And the lady who was doing the workshop, she was talking about how like at certain homes, when you go there, the people that are nonverbal don't really have like access to like language to explain themselves beyond like happy, sad, mad. And it's just like how can they explain that they're feeling disappointed or frustrated that their roommate is not there, or their favorite therapist that would come and like take them to the stores and do all this and that every day is no longer like around. So that was kind of that was really important to me. I feel like I felt grateful for my job because, like I said, in my class specifically and just my school in general, we are doing so much to like make sure that students have access to like vocabulary and are trying to like learn new words and hear words being used so that they can apply it. So that was really special. And then the last thing I would say that like really sent me was so keeping in line with like going through your whole life and not making decisions for yourself, and getting to the end of your life and not making decisions for yourself. We were talking about like hope, right? And she asked the lady, she was like, do your students have hope? Do the people that you work with have hope? And I was like, absolutely, they have hope. Like I feel like I'm a person that tries to bring excitement around things that are coming up, and like sprinkling joy throughout your day and throughout your week and stuff like that. And she was like, yeah, but that's like external hope. That's like you creating hope for them. Like, what about like for themselves? Do they have hopes? Do they have dreams? Do they have things that they're looking forward to in life? And it like really made me think, because I've had a couple conversations with my students, and like beyond our school goes until they're 21. My students are just now turning like 14, 15. Beyond that, my students didn't really say that they had like things to look forward to really, except just like being at home and just like chilling. And I am like firmly of the opinion that a few of them can like go to like a different level of education. And so I was just like, dang, like I've been creating hope for them, but what about internally and for themselves, you know? So yeah, that was like a brief review of like some of the things that we talked about, but there was actually so much more. And it left me, I felt more knowledgeable, and I felt like I had a good plan of like what I needed to do in case like, God forbid, like another situation where someone's family member passes away. Like I feel like I have resources for that. I have a good idea of like, you know, the rights and the things that students need to get when they experience stuff that like everybody else experiences, and the way that we need to treat them. But the hope thing, like really, I was just like, yeah, we gotta work on that. So yeah, I wanted to make sure I told you all about that, because I didn't want to like let too much time pass by without me explaining what that was. And I know that it might not be like applicable to you guys, but I'm sure you might know someone or have heard of someone that has an intellectual disability, and it's very important that they, you know, have the same rights as everyone else, and, you know, are treated fairly and treated with dignity, and aren't just like pushed to the side or not given the same level of like attention and respect that like a normal person would get. So yeah, I am going to stop talking. Like I said, I want to get ready for bed soon. I have to wash some dishes, put some food away, and I'll probably just end my night with some journaling, and yeah, just get ready for bed. I am going, tomorrow might be kind of like a chill day for vlogging. I don't know, we'll see. I'm just kind of taking it day by day. I made it to 20 days. I'm very excited about that. So I have 11 days left, which seems very doable for Vlogtober. So yeah, I'll pick back up with you guys tomorrow and continue the vlog. Okay, it is Monday, it is after work, and I am on my way to an eyebrow appointment. I'm very excited, even though my energy seems a bit low, just because I'm like tired, and it's always a trek to get here. It's like very far in the Bronx. You probably won't be able to like tell a major difference once I'm done, because my eyebrows are like done now, and I'm also not like doing the whole shebang of like tinting, laminating. I'm just doing like threading for now, and then once like next month for the wedding that I'm going to, I will do all of the wigs. So just checking in to tell you guys I'm gonna get my brows done. I'm very excited about that. Depending on how dark it is once I get out, I may or may not vlog. But I think I chatted enough for this one, even if I don't. So yeah, about to go in. I picked up some fries for the trek home, because it's gonna take me at least like an hour from Burger King, and I swear to you, they're fresh because I saw them like pour it out as soon as it was done. But it's so trash. Like, how hard is it to do fries? Seriously. But whatever, I'm hungry, so it should hold me over until I get home and I can make something for dinner. You can't really see my brows right now because they're like so light, I feel like. And also like the lighting here is like making it look even lighter. But yeah, my girl always does my brows amazingly, so I'm happy I got those done. And now I'm officially gonna end the vlog, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.